Hello, welcome to this video on random numbers. So in this video, we're going to see the random.range method that lets us choose a random integer between A and B, and we'll see how we can use that to select a random element from an array. So if we go to our code here, we are currently always playing the last item in the array. But that doesn't really make sense, right? That's just a nice little challenge to see if you can do that. But what we actually want to do is choose a random item. And so what we're going to do is use the random.range method. So let's go ahead and just in this coin script, let's just go choose a random number. Now our number needs to be between 0 and 5, inclusive, right? That's just how these numbers are going to work. If I choose a 0, it's going to play this song. If I choose a 1, it'll play this little clip. If I play 5, it'll play this clip, and 6 will be too big. So what I can do is go store an int, and this is a local variable, so it only exists inside this scope here between this curly bracket and this curly bracket. So it's going to be int. I'll call this random clip index, and I can just write random dot range and open a parenthesis. And if I hover over random, it says this is, oh, didn't mean to go there. It says this is UnityEngine.random. There's also system.random. So you might have using system at the top of your script here, in which case you'll get this error. It says random is an ambiguous reference between Unity Engine and system. They both have a .random. In that case, you can just write UnityEngine.random.range, and that will fix that. In our case, we don't need to because we're not using system. And so I'll just keep this at random.range. And now there's two different ways to use this function. You can use floats, which are going to give you numbers with decimals, or you can put in ints, which will give you numbers without decimals, just whole numbers. So I'll put a 0. That's the lowest number I want to put in. And now this says max inclusive, which means this is the highest number that I want to be able to produce. So this will produce anything between 0 and 5 inclusive. Just to recap there, if I put my bracket here, I can read the names of these parameters. This is min inclusive and max exclusive. See, I misread that exclusive. So this exclusive means it's not included. And so actually, if I want to generate a 5, I need to put a 6 here. So this should be 0 to 6. That will generate a random number from 1 to 5. Let's just make sure that's true. Let's just copy that random.range. I'm going to quickly put this in an update function. And I'm going to just debug.log this random.range from 0 to 6. So we should see a lot of numbers being printed in the console here. And they're going from 0 to 5. I don't see any 6s. I could be more rigorous, and I could say, you know, if I generate a 6, then print, you know, we generated a 6, but we're not. We're only getting from 0 to 5. So that's good. But of course, you might not have 6 audio clips. You might have 7 audio clips, in which case you need to put 0 to 7. So you get the numbers from 0 to 6. In our case, we're going from 0 to 5. Okay, but even still, what if your length changes at some point? So what we should do, instead of putting a 6 here, let's just put audio clip array.length. And so the random index that we're choosing is between 0 and length. And in the case of an array with 6 items, that's going to be from 0 to 6. And therefore, we won't generate a 6. We'll just get the highest number being 5. So this is exactly what we want here. We want 0 to audio clip array.length. And then now, when we choose a random audio clip, let's choose the audio clip at that random index. Okay, now we will play this clip at this specific point and turn off the mesh renderer and destroy the game object. Okay, this is getting a little bit messy in here. but for now it's okay. We might divide this up eventually, rearrange some lines, but let's just make sure that's all working. So we should hear lots of different sound effects when we collect coins. Yeah, that looks like that worked. So we're getting different sound effects being played. So that's great. Your challenge for this video is to just make sure that a random sound effect is played when a coin is hit, and make sure a random sound effect is played when an obstacle is hit. If you get those two working, you're in great shape for this, this tutorial. So I'll let you pause the video and try that. Okay, good job for doing that challenge. I'll let you just make sure that's working. It's going to be the same code as in the coin, but in the obstacle. So here I'll just finish by cleaning up our code a little bit to make these last sections be a little cleaner. So here, let's add some comments just to distinguish what's going on. So this section here is related to coin count. So this is going to be update the coin count. Okay, we'll have another section here that's for play coin sound. So here we get a random index, get the audio clip, we play clip at point. And here I'll say this section is for make the coin disappear. So that just makes it a little bit cleaner to read this later. So do the same thing in your obstacle class so that you have nice clean code and really readable code for later. Okay, good job on this tutorial. We'll see you in the next video.